A lot of y'all haven't heard my story to the extent, you hear a little bit about what I've went through a little bit, but for my drinking and drugging career began when I was 10 years old. My godfather molested me when I was 10 and he got me drunk. So that's how my story starts out. Pretty messed up, isn't it? You would think, being at your first experience, that you wouldn't even want to drink no more after that. Well, little did I know that because of that, my self-esteem was already shot way before that ever happened anyway. I felt like he took my manhood, thought people were going to think I'm gay, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. So I just kept that crap bottled up. That's what we do. And little did I know it fueled my using for years later on too, though. Because when I was young, I already didn't feel like I fit in, I always felt like I wasn't good enough, way before I ever drank and drug. Now, me living where I lived, because I'm from Anderson, which is right near Clemson, of course, all the orange.
That's surprising.
The reality is when I was getting messed up, honestly, I partied a little bit before I got strung out, It's crazy because nowadays, y'all don't even party. Nowadays y'all are in the parking lot knotted out while everybody else is in the club having fun. And that's the truth, man. Knotted out in school bathrooms. I mean, there's so much going on nowadays. I decided to be the dope man in high school. I went to T.L. Hanna, which everybody knows Radio, that movie Radio, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to mess with him a lot. You ask him what green jello does to you, he'll say it makes my pee-pee hard. I'm serious as hell. He's still there too. I think he's still in the 10th grade. But I played baseball, basketball, and football. And honestly, I'm not just trying to pat myself on the back or glorify anything, but Auburn, Anderson University, and Clemson had already been scouting me in the 10th grade because I was that good. And I had a C average. I don't even know how the hell I had that because I didn't go to school half the time. I would skip school and go to practice afterwards. And what's so bad, one of my coaches was one of my teachers, and he never said nothing. But that led into where I started to partying a little bit with the older crowd at school, the guys that are smoking weed, skipping school, going to the pool halls and stuff like that. But in the block I lived in, it was like a horseshoe bin in Anderson. There was about 8 of us that was all the same age just about, and we always clicked together pretty much. But there was one guy, his name was Brandon, ended up being my best friend. Me and Brandon, clicked from the beginning. His mom even tried to adopt me because my childhood was so screwed up with my dad. My dad was a raging alcoholic, man. He was abusive. He was just an ass, So I ended up living with my grandmother because of that. Because we did not get along, I promise you. Maybe it's because I was a raging alcoholic too. I just didn't know completely yet. But me and him had a guy that we knew that was way older than us on the block that moved to Atlanta, and we got a connection with him. I was 17 years old, I think. I don't remember exactly what the age was, but we were trafficking 50-pound bales back and forth from Atlanta to Anderson, on a weekly basis. 10 grand for a 50-pound bale, just do the math if you know anything about it. That's $200 a pound. We're 17 and 18 freaking years old. I was like, screw school, I don't need no college, damn, But it lasted a good while. We had a good run to the extent, but things started getting worse, I remember we've been drinking because I drink all the time. I'm an alcoholic first, by all means. If I ever use drugs, I'm drinking before, always, But we were drinking, and I drink about a case a day, no lie, y'all. But we were drinking all day, and him and his wife and him started drinking tequila a little bit. And I can't drink tequila. I'm gonna be honest. I'm an alcoholic. But I could take the first shot, but the second shot, everything I've drink's coming up because it's just nasty. I don't understand it. I can drink vodka straight, but that's just nasty, But they were killing it left and right, and we'd been on the drinking binge for days, anyway. But him and her got into it, and I remember bits and pieces of it. But he got mad, and I remember something, and I grabbed him, and we fell on the ground, and I told him, because he had his gun out, was talking all kind of crazy shit. And I held him and told him, I remember telling him, I said, I'm the best friend you'll ever have. Drop the damn gun before you do something stupid. And I remember that. Then he gets up. I let him go finally because he started calming down a little bit. And it's a big dude now. He's about twice my size. And he starts talking about killing himself because his wife was leaving. And mind you, I grew up with her wife, but his wife too, she was from our block. You know, she was just a little bit older, but she was from our block. And so I was friends with both of them all my life. So that's like a struggle in itself of when that happens, you know? But I remember him putting a gun to his head and say he was through with all this. And he was pretty messed up. And he pulled the trigger. It clicked though. And I'm just gonna be honest, this guy was so paranoid at all times that he had one in the chamber at all times. Because he was scared. Not me. I was scared I'd blow my balls off or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. That's the way I thought. I didn't want the thing going off in my waist. So I grabbed the gun, we tripped over, and I'll never forget it, one of them cheap little laundry baskets. I mean, that ain't crap, you get it like the Dollar Tree or something. And we fell on the couch, and the gun went off, and it shot me point blank in the throat. And it was a P90 Ruger Chrome Special Edition, you know. And thank God I only thought that I got shot in the shoulder because I'd have probably went and shot, because I lost so much blood anyway by the time I got out the house. But the sickness of our disease, I get up and I'm like, motherfucker, now you gotta take me to the hospital. Excuse me language. This is what I was like, now you gotta take me to the hospital, dumbass. You know? So we get up, you know, my brother was in the back room, my younger brother, he was smoking a blunt in the back room, and he comes out, and I guess he just sees where all the blood's coming out, and he just, and runs out the damn door. He was like 17, because I was like 21 by then. He goes and calls the ambulance 3 houses up, and there's like 10 phones in the house, but, you know, he just went in shock, I guess, I don't know. But it's funny because he pleaded the fifth for like 4 hours. He wouldn't even talk to the cops. But I tell him he's got to take me to the hospital, and we get outside, and I'm like, dude, I ain't gonna make it. I'm about to pass out, you know. And I said, man, go get we had the bail in there that hadn't been touched. We had other shit, you know, the guns. I said, man, go get all that shit out the house. I'm freaking dying, and I'm worried about the drugs. You know what I'm saying? I've already pissed and shit on myself. You know, I know what's going on now. I don't know I'm shot in the throat still, but I know I'm bleeding to death. You know. I remember my grandmother's neighbor on the other side, we called him Pico, is the black guy that lived next door, and he's always been our friend. You know, he's a lot older though, but he comes running up, and he's like, pray, Daniel. And I'm like, well, I'm way ahead of you. I've been praying. You know, that's the first time I genuinely remember praying. You know, I'll never do this. Y'all know what I'm saying? That dang foxholes. I'll never do this again if you just let me live, man. You know? Well, I started going in and out, and I remember the ambulance people grabbing me finally and like rolling me over because I fell on my chest and I was just holding it. And didn't even, like I said, I didn't even know, you know, just instinct, I guess. And, well, it wasn't this arm, because this arm was dead. But the reality is I lay there and they start cutting my clothes off, and I'm like in and out, in and out, in and out. And I remember they cut my pants off and I had a little 25 in my back pocket. You know, just like an emergency kind of thing. And it falls out and I hear him say, oh, he's got a gun. I'm like, no, I'm dying, fuck that gun, you know? That's just the reality of what I said. And then they started poking stuff in there and I'm telling them it's hurting. But when I come to a week later, I remember my baby mama, my first baby mama actually. I come to an ICU after a couple of days and I'm like, dude, is Brandon okay? That's the first thing I thought about. I was like, did he hurt himself after this, you know? She's like, no, he's okay. I said, that dumbass shot me in the shoulder, man. What the hell was wrong with him? She said, nah, baby, he shot you in the throat. Click, 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 click. I hit that little morphine button about 5 times and I woke up 2 days later. You know, because I was like, what? I didn't know that, you know? But the craziness of our disease, man, is that I got out the hospital a week and a half later. Of course, they get you out there quick when you ain't got no damn insurance. They ain't playing around. They stuffed a bunch of gauze down in my shoulder. I didn't even know it was down there until I had to get it took out to stop bleeding on the veins and all that crap. But I get straight out, jump in the car, tell my baby mama I'm driving, put a pillow under my arm because it's dead and I'm in a sling, you know, and it's just hanging there. And I drive straight to the liquor store, half-gallon of vodka, next door to the store, 12-pack of Bud Light and some V8. Because I already knew in my mind what was going to fix this crap, you know. And then I also had Oxycontin. That was when they first come out. And I learned the hard way about drinking with that shit. I was sick the whole freaking 12 hours of the first one I took, which is, I think, a blessing in the long run, except for I about shot myself in the damn leg, falling asleep, you know. But I never touched them again after that. I just sold the shit out of them, you know, which is stupid now that I look at it. But at the time, my addict mom was telling me, oh, it's okay. I'm just going to sell them. I'm not going to do them, you know. 6 months later, we're sitting here making a deal with somebody that came for a couple of pounds, I think, and he wanted cocaine, which is something we hadn't really got into, but we could have. We had been offered it so many times. And for some odd reason, I just got to be God that we didn't get it. Or something happened when we didn't get it when we went and met Tony and them. But this dude wore wiring on us. And we're sitting there in the back room of a trailer on our block that we don't even, none of us even live there anymore. It's just, we just chill in it now. And they kick in the door to the back room and all we see is the shotguns and stuff. We thought we were getting robbed. I mean, honestly, you know, we done started trying to grab guns and all kind of crap, man. All I remember was like a movie. I seen the back of the shotgun hit me, you know, and then they tried to grab the money from me because I had it. And it went out, you know what I'm saying, money just went every damn where. You know, it looked like the damn movies because I was trying to sling it behind the damn dresser or some shit. You know, I was trying to get, I'm going to get to keep this shit, you know, fuck that. But they got us, and the funny thing is, man, is all the crap they got us with, when we went to the preliminary hearing, I beat it. Because they come in on the wire, nobody let them in. They didn't have no warrant. They just come in on the wire. That's against the law. You know, they had been watching us for a year and a half and screwed it up. That's what's crazy, man. They were so mad. Look, they had like $4 grand our money. Gun, I don't even remember how many guns they got from us. We didn't get none of that back. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that. None of that came back, which I didn't give a crap. I was like, you can have that shit, you know. I had a list of charges like that. If you look on my record, they're still there though. It says dismissed though, which is freaking retarded. Why? If you beat something, why is it on your damn record? You know? Yeah. It costs, everything costs money though. But that didn't stop us. We still tried a little more. I said, basically in my mind, okay, everybody around me is doing meth now. They've been watching us for all this weed and trafficking. I ain't going back over the state line and get nothing. I'll just sell meth. I won't do it. I'll make some more money. That worked for about a month. Then I got tired of everybody, all those tweakers, damn, calling and knocking on the doors all night long and this, that, and the other, you know. And by then I had my little girl, my oldest little girl, because we found out, I forgot to say that, we found out Sherry was pregnant because she passed out when they rolled me by because I was so swollen and all that crap that she passed out, and when they gave her fluids and all that, they found out she was pregnant. I didn't even know it, you know what I'm saying? We didn't even know that. But anyways, you know, I said, well, you know what, I can do a little bit, stay up all night, make more money. I'll be all right, you know, just a little bit. I don't even like this crap, you know? I ain't one like everybody else, ain't I? That was the beginning of a real bad downfall, man. You know, I got so strung out on meth, it was ridiculous. You know, I never slept. I had a schedule, man. That's how bad I was as a meth addict. Drink all day, smoke meth all day, and at the third day, I made myself go to sleep because I seen everybody else's idiot butts hallucinating and shit. I knew the 3 days was about the time you start, you know, depriving your brain too much of oxygen and sleep. You're gonna start seeing crap. And I ain't chasing shit through the woods, even though I thought the police was always there. You know, always. Police is always watching us. I don't care what you say. Well, hey, the funny part is one time in my trailer I was living in, I was up all night. Of course, you can tell the meth addict, you know, all the lights on in the house in the middle of the night, spotlights on outside, probably spray painting your car, who knows. You know? But I'm thinking they outside, so I thought I'd seen somebody. So I go outside to look for them, right? I'm home alone on this one. Ain't nobody with me. And I'm thinking, oh, this motherfucker done went in the house since when I come out looking for him. So I'm peeping. You know how people say peeping out the blinds? I was peeping on the other side, trying to see if this dude done went in my house and was about to get me. That's pretty bad. Well, DSS got involved. We lost, you know, our kids and all that stuff. I was on probation by then because I got busted again. I was almost to my house, and of course I didn't have no license. You know, they took them with the trafficking crap, you know. And I go to bear off, and I knew the cop was behind me, and I knew he was gonna mess with me. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, first of all. You know we're up to no damn good, because we don't never do nothing in the daylight. And I bear off, and the speed limit changes, so he pulls me over. And I'm so geeked up, man. I've been up 3 days, dude. You know what I'm saying? I was on my 4th day, actually, and I went and tried to collect some money is what it was. And of course he was gonna get me, man. I was in a Honda Accord, freaking 18s, lights, system, all that crap, you know. Yeah, I ain't got no license though, you know. Good dumbass. But he pulls me over and he's like, you got your license, registration? I said, nah, you know, my car was in my uncle's name. I ain't had no damn license. I couldn't get it in my name. I was like, nah, but I got my social security card. Don't ask me why I said that, first of all. You know, I have no clue. So I handed my social security card, and about halfway through him getting to his car, I hauled ass. I said, because I remembered I had a gun under my seat. I had 3